With 2027 fast approaching, the African Democratic Congress is stirring the waters with a bold coalition strategy that could rattle Nigeria's political status quo. What's really behind this move? We will be finding out in the course of the show. Joining us to break this all down is an architect and political analyst, Ezekiel Nya-Etok.
Yes, I mean, we're looking at ADC Coalition and what it implies for 2027 elections. So first thing first, what exactly is the goal of the African Democratic Congress Coalition ahead of 2027, and how broad is its reach across political blocs?
I think that there's a major, I don't know how this is going to affect your interview. There's a major misunderstanding.
Okay.
That misunderstanding is thinking that I'm in ADC.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I was in ADC. I contested under the platform of the ADC. I was literally the face of ADC.
Okay.
I brought the presidential candidate of ADC, the vice presidential candidate, Mr. Moghalu, Professor Moghalu, and I brought them all into ADC. They are all my friends, and they, when I was contesting, they all came in there. So I've been in ADC. And then I got this appointment from Mr. President as a member of ADC. I never left ADC. And that was in February last year. And I remained in ADC up till July last year. And then it just occurred to me, I felt that it was not wise for me to remain in the ADC. As a result, I resigned my membership of the party formally and officially, and remained political, so to speak, so as to face the responsibility that I was given by Mr. President. So, but in December, almost a year after, I made up my mind and joined the APC.
Oh, so, okay.
So here we are. I don't know how your questions are going to shape.
No, it's fine. It's still within the political parties. Yeah. I mean, it's still in the landscape.
That's
okay,
right.
So I'm sure you know that ADC, has, like you said, it's been existing before, and then they collapsed it for the coalition strategy. Okay, so is this coalition simply about winning elections, or is there a deeper ideological alignment at play?
In the first instance, I will tell you this. I'm very worried, very, very worried, because I'm a Nigerian. Though Mr. President gave me this appointment, the first thing is that he didn't give it to me as a politician. That's why he didn't bother that I was in ADC. I was the face of ADC, you know. He gave it to me because he believed that I have something to offer in the housing subsector. So to that extent, I joined the ADC because I saw something really out of the conventional. I liked the ADC. They had what you call the ADC DNA, yeah, and that's what attracted me. And that was like you know what a DNA is to a human being, the composition that makes the you that you are, your qualities, your attributes, your characteristics, your personality, all those things are embedded in your DNA. And the ADC DNA was what I've been looking for, you know, talking about virtue, talking about focus, talking about nationalism, talking about professionalism, talking about excellence. Those were the constituents of the ADC DNA, and that's what attracted me. Now, what makes me very uncomfortable now is that what I've seen in the coalition goes diametrically opposed to those fundamentals, to those principles. And you ask yourself, why? Who is the face? Who are the faces of ADC? What's the ideology? And the people I'm seeing there, God help me, are definitely not the people that would be the face of the new Nigeria that we are all clamoring for. They are definitely not the face of what we had anticipated. So the whole ADC has become a platform, a tool for getting political power, and not the sort of thing that Nigeria is looking for as at this moment.
All right. Now, let's look at this coalition plan. How does this coalition plan to distinguish itself? How will it distinguish itself from the traditional powerhouses like PDP, APC? Do you think there's something really different about this coalition strategy?
There was something different about ADC as a party, but there's nothing different from ADC as a coalition, as presently constituted. You know, I would have, you know, it's unfortunate. Sometimes I think that, you know, you have a good opportunity and you throw it away. A good opportunity in the sense that ADC was a party that could be respected. That's why people like me went there. So, and in the coalition, you know, before I joined ADC, or while I was still in ADC and things like that, we tried to form what we call Summit of the Alternative, you know, where we had the likes of CDC, you know, Madam Obi Ezekwesili, you know, and you know, you told me there are a lot of people that were like the alternative to what we had. You know, we had the Summit of the Alternatives, and we had very clear-cut principles on who should be our partners for now, so that we form it. And then, you know, in politics, you can't keep others away, but they will come thereafter. So the face of the Summit of the Alternatives had to do with, you know, people with integrity, people with credibility, people that Nigerians could look at and say, yes, I like this. You know, one of the things that we miss is the fact that, you know, there are, you know, two camps. There's the camp of the politicians and there's a camp of the citizens. There are two camps because the citizens give power, the politicians collect power. And within that context, now this is like a triangle, you know, a balanced triangle. It has a tip at the top and it expands and then has a flat base. So you have 1, 2, and the tip that make the triangle. Now, at the top of that triangle is the citizen. They sit on top. At the bottom is the politician, left and right, those in power and those in opposition. That's what it is. And you should never mix the two, okay? So when I hear them say, oh, 2027 is about Mr. President and the people, I say, no. That is fallacy. That is politicians trying to come through the back door to get power from the people. No. 2027 is about the people and the politicians in power and out of power. Do you understand me? In power and opposition. So that the two of them should be looking up to the people. Those in power should be telling the people why they should be retained. And those in opposition should be telling the people why they should be preferred. So as at today, the opposition seems to be, let me just do a mix of what you call ADC, Labour, and PDP. And then those in power is APC. Now, PDP, Labour, AP cannot put themselves with the people. No, they are not with the people. They are alone here. Then the people in power are alone here. They are both looking up to the people. And those of us that are in APC have to tell the people why we must be re-elected. And those in opposition have to tell the people why they should be elected. So both parties must be looking up to the people. And that is the point I always think that we need to bring up here. So to that extent, what I've seen in APC as presently constituted between you and I will not make that average Nigerian to say, take it from this and give it to this, you know, because the people decide to either leave it with the opposition or take it from the opposition and give it, or leave it with those in power, incumbents, or take it from those in power and give it to the opposition. The question that Nigerians must ask themselves today is that, what will be my reason to take it from APC and give it to ADC? ADC has to give them that reason. But ADC to just think that, oh, people are suffering. People are suffering is not a political manifesto. People are suffering is not a political manifesto. So ADC cannot give you people are suffering as what they are bringing to the table. People know they are suffering, okay? So those of us in APC, we have a big duty, a burden to let the people know what we are doing, why we are doing what we are doing, and why they are better off with us. We must never take the people for granted. Then those in opposition cannot say, oh, they are bad, they are bad. The fact that one man is a thief does not make you a saint. You could be two thieves, okay? So sell yourself that this is who we are different, we have a different ideology, we have superior manifesto. You can look at us, we have both the manifesto and the personnel to be able to go see it through. When you are able to convince the people, then the people, will now want to take it from APC and give it to them. But as of today, number one, what is their manifesto? I don't know. People are suffering. It doesn't make sense. Number two, who are the people that are driving the process? And that is what really kind of makes me very sad, because I would like to see a vibrant opposition. Do you understand me? Yeah. That makes our democracy to be more interesting, and it also puts us on our toes. But what I'm seeing here, it's nothing that will make me shake as an individual, because who are the people that are the face of the opposition?
So meaning that the ADC don't have enough or strong profile to make other political parties rattle.
You as a journalist, ask yourself, since they started talking, what comes up in your mind as their manifesto? You can't. You can't think of one thing they've told you. You can't. Just think now, one thing they have said, this distinguishes us, this makes us different, this is what we want to do. You can't, even as a journalist. And that's very sad. You are coming to take power from people in power. And they just believe that once you say people are hungry, collective, people are hungry, people are collective, that people are hungry is not a manifesto. Tell me something you are bringing to the table that will make the average Nigerian. Number two, we can look and say, oh, we like Pat who told me he is a professor who told me he is this, is that. Oh, we like this person. Oh, we like Madam Obieze. Oh, we like these are incorruptible people. These are very, very good professionals. These are the face of ADC. We want to go with them. We like the likes of the fella Durotoye. These are the people that have come back together to form and give us a new Nigeria. We like them. But none of those people is featuring in this coalition. What you have is all politicians who kept to where we are today, who feel they've been left in the cold for too long, and they would like to come back and become relevant and be useful again. And then they think that just by telling you, oh, people are hungry, they want to take advantage of the vulnerability of Nigerians. Some of us have come into ADC, and we're going to start to tell the people, look, I have to tell you what we have to do in the area of housing. We in APC must put ourselves together and tell the people, we must never take the people for granted. But people are hungry is not going to be what you want to work on the sentiment of the people and collect power, and just so that they can come back and be back in power while deceiving the people who care about them. So,
can PDP reposition itself as a viable national alternative in all of this in 2027 amidst this rising defections and internal factional dispute as we speak?
PDP has buried itself, unfortunately. I started with the PDP. I contested in 2007. and I contested on the platform of the PDP. Somewhere along that time, or just before then, I was the chairman for the Ward and Local Government Congress Committee of the PDP to one of the states. And that's about the most important position you can hold in a party, because then you go to set up the structure of the party in that state. I was. But you see, PDP had this level of arrogance that nothing could happen. They even boasted they will be in power for 60 years and things like that. When you are in power, you must be careful not to become so arrogant that you think nothing can happen. In politics, there's nothing like nothing. So that is why in APC today, it's just without even thinking twice, you can see that the path to success is very, very straight, but we must never take anything for granted. That is why internally there was a meeting we had and Mr. President gave a marching order. He said very clearly that the opposition does a marathon, but those in power, they do a dash for election. What does that mean? It means that while opposition is doing what they are doing, we must be careful to continue on governance. Continue on governance. Concentrate on your work. Don't get distracted. Do your work till the time to do a dash. Do you understand me? Now, that time allows you to be able to show the workings that you've done over the period, so that you are going to campaign on the platform of what you can show as your scorecard. You understand me? And I like that when I heard that, because it means then that you're not taking the people for granted. So we that are public office holders in PDP, in APC, we have been asked to make sure that we continue working and working and working till the end of this year, to next year, to primaries, so that when we start to do campaign, for instance, in housing, I happen to be in housing because of my position as an executive director with the Federal Housing Authority. In housing, we want campaign to be cutting tapes of estates. Each state, the president comes, at least in 20 states, wants his campaign to be cutting tapes of housing. That's a good campaign. And I think, the opposition is very largely underestimating what the current, maybe I'm letting some cat out of the bag, but I want to tell you that from December, I said that, I think it was one of the big stations, I'll tell you, from December, January, you are going to start to see things change, because right now it's been like laying foundations, it's been like going through the hardest part. So it can never get worse in Nigeria. It can only get better. Let me give you a very simple example. 2,000 naira per dollar, naira per dollar, yes. But gradually it's finding its way back very slowly. How about fuel? You know that we bought fuel at 1,200 in this country, formally and officially. But you know that gradually it's coming down. And as at some days back, the Dangote refinery even said they were bringing down the price again. So by the time we get to January, by December, by the grace of God, many things are going to be stabilizing. And then people will start to feel the effect of even the tax reforms that we are doing, the law. By towards the end of this year, people are going to see the difference. So we have a president that, for once, we have a president that is thinking and is taking hard decisions.
Okay.
Hard decisions.
Oh, okay, Architect Ezekiel. So finally, what message does this coalition, right, send to Nigerian voters, especially the youth and politically disillusioned? Pardon me, please.
The message they are sending is the message that we are the same, we are not different, because they are not speaking. They are not saying anything. And they are making life a little easier for us. I wanted a hard puncher, do you understand me, to put me on my toes. But now I'm getting on my toes, not because of, the fear of the opposition, but I would say moral conscience. You're given a job to do the job. So the opposition, they are not telling you their manifesto. They are not giving you incorruptible people. They are not showing you something different from the others. They are just telling you that all they want is that they have been out of power for too long. They want to come back to power. And that's what Nigerians need. Nigerians need APC to step up and say, I feel your pain, and this is what we are doing. So they are making APC to sleep, but we will not sleep. Rather, we'll continue to work. It's been difficult, I will say that, because this is a network that goes international. But I want to tell you there's a definite roadmap and a plan that Mr. President has, and we owe it to Nigerians to communicate. That's one thing I have against my party, APC. We're not communicating enough to Nigerians, and it seems to be taking people for granted. The time has come when we need to come and start explaining to the people, on a daily. I want to be able to see my Minister of Information having a weekly program of briefing the people what's going on, why this is so. Let me just end on an illustration I like to give.
Okay.
If you have two people, architect, we have two people. A man is building a 3-bedroom bungalow, okay? Another man is building like a 10-story building. Now, by the time that 3 months have gone, the man that was building a 3-bedroom bungalow has finished building his house. Within 4 months, he's doing the finishings. In the 5th month, he's moving in. Meanwhile, the man that was doing a 10-story building is still piling after 4 months. There's nothing you are saying. So the man on the street is likely to say, these guys are useless. Look at the other people, they are living in their house. These other people, all we're seeing is just pom, what's going on? But if those people, as a result, before you can explain yourself, your time is, the people will just write you off and move on. But if you had come to tell the people, the land that we have is very small. So if we build a 3-bedroom bungalow, it can just take one family. But we want to rather build a 10-story building that can accommodate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As a result, it's going to take us about 2 years instead of 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Now, in the first 3 months, we are going to be doing this, then we now do that. So while this man is living in his house, the people are not looking down on these guys because they have an understanding that this one will contain 10 families instead of just one family. And then the foundation needs to be very good. It is the way it is now. We need to have piling. They have that information. Now, that hope of, of a better future makes the people to be patient with you. So we are laying foundations of a better future, but we are not communicating enough to the people. And the people are like, what's going on?
Thank you, Architect Ezekiel Nya-Etok, for shedding light on what lies ahead, 2027 elections. I am Temitayo Olumofe. Thanks for watching Guardian TV.